is a special live presentation of TNN Motorsports. At this time of the year, spring training and drag racing are on many minds in Florida. But despite not occupying the leadoff spot in the seasonal lineup, the Mack Tools Gatornationals can lay claim to many firsts. For example, 300 is a magic number in baseball, and it was a magic speed mark for Kenny Bernstein here in Gainesville 5 years ago. Spring training has always seen the debut of rookie phenoms, and so is the Gators. 8-time national event winner Scott Jeffrey made his national event debut back in the late 80s. Whit Bazemore's first effort in a funny car dates back to 1989. And Bruce Allen had his first ride with the Rare and Morrison team here in 1985. Warren Johnson reached the first of his 98 career final rounds way back in a 1976 runner-up effort. Frank Hawley did the Chi-Town Hustle for Austin Coyle and crew for their first win on the way to the 1982 Winston Crown. And Eddie Hill captured the first of his 13 career Top Fuel titles back at the Gatornationals '88. Both baseball and drag racing rely on throwing smoke, change-ups, an occasional slider, line drive singles, and even more frequent doubles. But more than anything, both sports use their Florida experiences to build towards a fall classic where kings are crowned. Gators 97 has seen stories galore in qualifying. WJ runs 199 miles an hour 3 times. Just can't get that 25 grand for the big 2 double zeros. New guys practice sections, including Ray Franks and George Varnell side by side. Just one spot left in the Holly Club. After a DNQ in Phoenix, Cruz Pendragon grabs the pole here with this 496, 308 mile per hour blast in the Mickey D's Pontiac Funny Car. And rookie Randy Henderson clicks big time with a series of strong 5-0s. Randy is ready. Joe Amato topped his best ever at 316 miles an hour. Could 320 be next for Jose? His 459 is numero uno. Buzzy Carter's gone from the yellow banana, but Eddie Hill still peels out to a 483 for the 10th spot. He'll need more, maybe 0.3 of a second. After 3 days of super North Florida sunshine, it's finally time for the final rounds of the third race in the 1997 NHRA Winston Championship season, the Mack Tools Gatornationals. And finally, the Snowbirds, who travel so far and spend so much, are getting a perfect holiday weekend of NHRA Championship drag racing. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Evans. It is a gorgeous day, a jam-packed house, and in the next 90 minutes, we will answer 3 questions. Rookie Top Fuel sensation Gary Scelzi become the first driver ever to win the opening 3 races of the year in that category. Can John Force be stopped from winning his 6th consecutive Gatornationals title? And can a funny car, or pro stock car, sorry, please run 200 miles an hour, or the suspense has to go to Houston in 2 weeks? Now, why do they put everything on the line like this? I think Casey Spurlock can answer that question.
Well, Steve, it's not just for bragging rights and pride, that's for sure. They're competing for over $1.8 million in prize money this weekend. And what's been the toughest factor for these crews? It's been the weather. It may have been pleasant for the fans, but it's been unpredictable for the crew chiefs. Some of the crew chiefs told me they've made changes in the staging late as much as 3 times. For more, let's go to our colleague, Bob, we call him the booth man, Fry.
It's always interesting. I get the booth, and Casey gets the sunshine and all that talk about money. Hey, we're going to show you some money and maybe award a lot of money here today at the Mack Tools Gatornationals. It has just been a great weekend so far. We've got an hour and a half of tremendous live racing coming up. But first, some business from earlier this morning. We would like to update you on the condition of Marshall Topping, who was injured in that qualifying accident yesterday. They tell us from the hospital he is currently in serious but stable conditions at the Shands Medical Center in Gainesville. And again, our prayers and best wishes with Marshall and his family. Hope he has a great recovery, and we expect to see him back soon. Now, Top Fuel so far at the start of 1997. The whole story has been, well, Gary Scelzi. You know, when you say the name Cinderella, the first person to come to mind probably isn't Gary Scelzi. His top fueler doesn't resemble a pumpkin, and he wears Nomex and not glass footwear. But his 1997 season is certainly the stuff of fairy tales. 2 wins and as many starts to kick off the season has matched Gary with Kelly Brown, who began the 1978 Winston Championship run with a pair of wins in 3 races. His only loss coming to Big Daddy in the Swamp Rat right here at Gainesville. Scelzi hopes for a repeat of the Johnson family magic that Blaine Johnson had in this race a year ago. Well, maybe without all the commotion in the other lane. And if Team Winston can strike for a 3rd time in 1997, it could mean midnight's tolling already for the rest of the Top Fuel pack. And there we go. It's our leadoff hitter, Joe Amato, and the rest of the top half of the field. Good qualifying for Corey. Gary Scelzi in the 3-hole. Our cleanup hitter here in spring training, well, it's Kristen Powell. Didn't make the field out in Phoenix. Made the bump spot right here at the Mac Tools Gatornationals. That would mean they would line up like this. Fast Jose, as Steve calls him, against young Kristen Powell. Great side of the ladder there with Vandergriff, Bernstein, Scott Coletta, all coming out of the same side of the ladder. Ouch. Some big hitters are going to go out early. Corey Mack and Eddie Hill. Eddie just got in at number 15. Scelzi in the 3-hole. Pat Dakin, number 14. He's out of Ohio. And Kinda Coletta continues to run well. He's had a great start here in 1997. Well, let's take a look at some of the stuff that happened in round number 1. In case you weren't here earlier in the day, shamey on you. It opened up with Joe Amato in the near lane and Kristen Powell. Over there on the far side, that's the Royal Purple Machine. We'll take a look at her on board. That's what a 17-year-old kid looks like in a top fueler, because we didn't have a picture of a 17-year-old somewhere out there in history class. Jose gets the win.
This may be the most overpowering hot rod in the sport today. A 464 at 312. Wow.
Jimmy Proctor's making a lot of horsepower, Steve, you know, but the sun comes out.
He's learned how to manage that horsepower.
That's the trick, you know, but I can't tell too many people that, though, you know. Over the winter, all the crew teams were coming to try and steal them off me, you know, but we worked together, we paid our dues together. Now we got to get a little bit of reward for the paying the dues.
Joe's speed secret, probably those nifty little black things he had on his ears. This was Eddie Hill, the nuclear banana. Almost lived up to its name against Corey Mack here in the opening round. Watch the yellow car. Everything's going well until kaboom. That's a technical term we drag racing announcers use. Look at Eddie. He just keeps it upright, did a magnificent job of driving, and kept that car on his side of the racetrack. We'll watch this again from the back. Everything's looking good until... I said that, didn't I? And we'll take a look at this from the far end of the racetrack. In the business, we call that an ouch. Boy, Eddie, that really had to smart.
Physically is okay, but mentally and emotionally, that was a blow. That supercharger is completely off that engine.
Yeah, something wasn't right there. We had, I guess, another mechanical failure. We've had a lot of those, and our luck hadn't seemed to be too good. But that hurt a little bit, but I'm okay.
Boy, it hurt me, Eddie, and I was just watching it. This is Scelzi against Pat Dakin. Scelzi in the Team Winston machine. Hey, boys, smoke him if you got him. Well, Pat Dakin smoked him. Gary Scelzi got him. The win, that is. And Team Winston has now gone 9 straight rounds without tasting defeat. 471, not bad numbers at 301. And the Bud King will take on Tommy Johnson Jr. TJ on the far side, out of John Costanza, the best-selling author. Boy, I'd like to write a great ending to this story. I don't think so. Kenny, whoa, a lot of smoke, but he manages to hang on there and get the win. So Kenny Bernstein advanced, and this throng was really enjoying opening round play in Top Fuel Eliminator. We'll take a look at the way they paired up in the next round. The Jersey's car against Joe Amato, Kenny and Scott. That's a great matchup on that side of the ladder. Corey Mack and Mike Dunn in the Mopar car both advanced. You know that Gary Scelzi did, and it would be Jim Head and the close call car as they go in to round number 2.
Kenny, it's always tough to lose. You lost to Pomona with a 61. Phoenix with a 62. That's really hard on you.
It is. It's real hard like that. You know, there's different kinds of ways to lose. When you just get beat and run, outrun, you don't run good, then it's easy to forget it, like smoking the tires instantly. You just say, well, heck, we just missed it. But those kind of races where it's that tough and you run that good, it's really hard on you because you say, man, maybe I should have left a little bit quicker. Just a taste here and there, we could have won. On the other side, it gives you some satisfaction that your car ran good and ran good enough to win. So you know if you keep doing that with consistency, you're going to win your share sooner or later.
So Kenny Bernstein getting set to move the Bud King, Big Red, into round number 2. We've got more coming up right here from the Mac Tools Gatornationals. TNN's exclusive live coverage of the Mac Tools Gatornationals is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. The Fuel Coupes have always flown in Florida, and not just as in this half gainer performed by Tom Hoover a year ago. Turn back the clock to 1980 when Don Prudhomme and his Army marched through the 5-second zone on the way to his 4th of 5 Gators triumphs. Or look to 1984 where certain Mr. Bernstein tamed a tempo with a Dale Armstrong tune-up past the 260-mile-per-hour barrier. In 1993, Freddie Neely felt forever young thanks to a national speed record of over 295 miles an hour. Unfortunately, it came in a losing effort to John Force. And last year, Force and Cruz Pedregon streaked into the 600s in the semis as they put down side-by-side 300-mile-an-hour blast. The Sunday funnies at Gainesville are definitely speed reading. Well, the speed belonged to Cruz Pedregon. He was #1 for the first time since Pomona last year at the Winter Nationals. Hoffman, Force, couple the hitters at the top. There's that rookie. Watch the Napa car, and Dean Scusa hot on the heels of his Phoenix performance. Tony Pedregon struggled a bit. Ron Capps just didn't make the cut. Freddie Neely, hey, we just talked about him. Dale Worship, and how about that Gary Bolger comes in at the cleanup spot at 526. #1 against 16. That's not good news for Bolger. Pedregons, both of them at the top half of the ladder. They could meet in round number 2. Anderson, Hoover, also on that side. Al Hoffman's running well. He's in the 4-second qualifying effort. He'll give Dale Worsham a shot. You got to like John Force against Freddie Neely. Unless you're Freddie Neely. Scusa and Cap should be a good one. A couple of the great young riders here in this category. Well, let's take a look at the way it went earlier today in round number 1. Randy Anderson with 4 5-0 runs in qualifying. Hey, it's a different day. He never got it out of the burnout box. A tough break for the kid who was looking for his first win ever. Then it's Al Hoffman on the far lane against Dale Worsham in the near lane. This is a pretty good old drag race. Al Hoffman looks to keep pace with John Force. You can throw a blanket over the two. Hoffman gets the win by just about that much. He won it by about a nose.
Dale's a hell of a racer. He was right there all the way, and that was a good drag race. That's what the fan comes to see, and we enjoyed that one.
I heard what he said. Is he allowed to say that? Hey, this is the family show. Tim Wilkerson against Mark Oswald, the In-N-Out Burger machine. Wilkerson ran 5-0s last year right here. Bang, out of the starting chute. He's on his way to the next round, but it's a quarter-mile track, and he was only out in front for the first 1,200 feet. Too bad, Mark.
It was real tight. I mean, he had me by about a half a car length towards the end, and said he was forced to shut it off. I believe him. I don't think I could have quite gotten around him.
Hey, you ought to believe him. He's an honest guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that your seat backs and tray table are in their full upright and locked position. Watch Kenji Okazaki on the left side of the screen. We have liftoff. Houston, we have a problem. Not the least of which is Chuck Etchels as he gets the win at 512, 300 miles per hour. Great run for the Kendall Super Winch car. This would be Gary Densham against Tony Pedregon, the NEC Communication Solutions. They can send signals around the world. Can they solve Tony Pedregon? Yes, indeed. The NEC car gets the WIN, and they go to round number TWO.
Yeah, I tell you, I did. I mean, it was such a race. I saw Tony about 1,200 feet, just the nose of his car, and then it vanished. I wasn't sure who won. I get out. They're filming his car. I thought, God, my crew's going to kill me. We lost this race.
Yeah, you won it with a 5:03.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, you're welcome. Everybody thanks Steve. That's such a warm and fuzzy kind of guy, that Gary Densham. Well, I'm not sure about the fuzzy. Cruz, Densham, Hoove, and Oswald staying alive on that side of the ladder. It would be Al Hoffman trying to duke it out with a Kendall car. And the Force and Scusa, hey, didn't they go at it in the finals at Phoenix? Yeah-huh. Yes, they did. Scusa's going to try to turn the tables. Let's catch up now with KC and Randy Anderson.
The Western Auto Nitro Funny car of Randy Anderson has been running great all weekend. But Randy, what happened out there in that first round?
Well, we had a couple that was left loose on the drivetrain, and the car wouldn't, move forward, obviously, and we're just disappointed.
Maybe next time. Randy Anderson, he won the alcohol category twice. His dad won the Winston Championship 3 times. His sister set the speed record. Man, the poor kid, he can't get any respect. Maybe next time in Houston, we'll see how Randy Anderson does. We got Pro Stocks coming up. You can read all that technical stuff. I'd like to explain it to you. I'd like to, but hey, I'm out of time. I haven't got the faintest idea what that technical stuff's all about. And C, all of the above.